Hi guys, welcome to Algebra 1, Lesson 14, right? Okay. We're on Lesson 14, which is more complicated expressions. Don't let that scare you. It just means that you have more negative signs, more parentheses, more brackets, all of that. But you know what to do. So let's just go through what we need to do. All you need to really remember is to be careful and not leave out any signs. If you do that, your whole problem is going to be wrong. But if you're very careful, you're going to be fine, don't you worry. Okay, so here we go. Negative a, bracket, negative a times p minus a. If p equals negative 2 and a equals negative 4. So to keep myself from losing any of my negatives, I'm going to insert parentheses with my negative numbers. So let's go for it. I have negative a. A is already negative, it's negative 4. So I'm going to have negative parentheses negative 4 to protect that negative. Okay, then I have my bracket, negative, and I'm going to do the same thing, negative 4. Now obviously we can simplify this a lot. But until we do, let's just write it in exactly as our problem asks it. And I have parentheses, p minus a. P is a negative 2. I'm going to put that negative 2 in there. Minus a is a negative 4. So I'm going to put negative 4 in parentheses to close it off and keep it from getting mixed up. Now I have two parentheses next to each other. Technically, I should change this into a bracket and this into braces, but I'm not going to today. I'm just going to close that off, and we are just going to be extra careful. Okay, according to order of operations, we start with our innermost parentheses. So I'm going to start here. Negative 2 minus negative 4. Well, when you subtract a negative, remember that's the same as adding. So I have negative 2 plus 4. What is negative 2 plus 4? Positive 2, because it would be 4 minus 2, since your signs are opposite. Positive 4 has the larger absolute value, so your answer is positive. So I have positive 2 for my parentheses. That's going to be multiplied by the opposite of negative 4, which is what? 4. Okay, so 4 times 2 is 8. So this all comes down to 8. This is the opposite of negative 4. Okay? What's the opposite of negative 4? Positive 4. So I have 4 times 8, which equals 32. So 32 is your answer. Boom. Okay? Let's do the next one. AX, bracket, negative a times a minus x, parentheses, bracket. Let's put it in. A is negative 2 and x is negative 6. So I have a negative 2 times a negative 6. Put in my bracket. Negative. Now this a is already negative, so I'm going to put in my parentheses to protect my negative. Then I have a minus x. A is negative 2 minus x is already negative, so I'm going to put in my parentheses and put in my bracket. Okay, now I'm going to simplify, starting with my innermost parentheses. Negative 2 minus a negative 6. This is just like up here. So this is negative 2, really it's plus 6. So negative 2 plus 6 is positive 4, good, times the opposite of negative 2. The opposite of negative 2 is positive 2. So 2 times 4 is 8. So all of this boils down to 8, just like the last one. So then I have negative 2 times negative 6 times 8. What's negative 2 times negative 6? Positive 12. So I have 12 times 8. And 12 times 8 is 96. And that's your answer. So far so good, right? Okay, let's keep going with the next example. All right, this is the last example before your practice. I have negative b, bracket, negative b B minus C minus C minus B. B is -4, C is -6. I know you're tired of these negative numbers, aren't you? I am too. Okay, so I have -4. That's right here, okay? Bracket, -4. And I have -4 minus a -6. Put that all in parentheses. Minus a -6 minus -4. Parentheses, bracket. Whew, that's a lot, right? So we just go piece by piece. We'll start with these innermost parentheses right here and right here. I'm going to switch colors to try to help you see better on the board. So I have -4 minus a -6. So that's the same as -4 plus 6, which is +2. Good. Now let's go to this parentheses. So I just did this one. Now I want to do this one. -6 minus a -4. So that's -6 plus 4. -2. Very good. Okay? So this comes down to, I have the opposite of -4. Just let's simplify that right now because we can. What's the opposite of -4? +4. So I'm going to change this to a +4. Then I have the opposite of -4 right here. What's that? +4. And change this to my bracket again. Okay, so I have +4 times 2 minus a -2. That's what I boiled down to. Okay, this opposite of -4 is 4. This is 2, so these are multiplied together. And my minus sign, this was -2. So that's a lot better, right? Okay, let's switch colors again. So now I have 4 times 2 is what? 8. So I have 8 minus a -2. What is 8 minus a -2? Well, that's the same as 8 plus 2. And 8 plus 2 is 10. So I'm left with 4 times 10, which equals 40. And that's all you have to do. Okay, pause now and do your practice on page 74, lesson 14. Okay, you should be back, ready to go. Letter A, you should have -28. B is +64. And C is +18. If you got any of those wrong, please send me a message and we'll work on it together and see where you're making any mistakes with probably with your negatives. Okay, if you got them all right, great job, proud of you. I'll see you in the next lesson. Have a great day, guys.